misconception by you.
It's a misconception.
That
I
maybe
don't know if people know that we don't take any reps during the week. We're running the scout team versus the one defense, but those aren't our plays. I don't know if there's a misconception that we are taking some reps in preparation. So you really have to focus on the mental side of it so you can be ready to go out there and perform and run all the plays that we run.
So essentially, you don't have to, you not only have to know your plays, but for each week, you have to almost simulate the opposing quarterback. So it's like a dual role.
Yeah, exactly. Right. So the way most NFL teams structure it is the backup's running the scout team. So like the backup can get reps against defense, right? To practice and play and throw against defense. Even though we're not running our own plays, just that process of like, I'm on the field playing against a good defense will then in turn translate to them being a little more ready to play on Sundays.
Question I do again is as far as maintaining focus, you guys do any drills on that? So I'm thinking like maybe third quarter, like I said, you haven't gotten in yet. Third quarter, fourth quarter, now you're maybe thinking, so okay, not going getting in today. Something happens, bam, you've got to get out there. You have some kind of drills that you do during the off season, during the week. Say, hey, I got to stay focused 4 quarters, or just something you're doing to make sure that at the snap of a finger, you're up there ready to go.
Yeah, so I have an earpiece in. Some quarterbacks will put the helmet on because we have the microphone and the helmet. I like the earpiece. And I'm basically you'll see me walking back and forth on the sideline. I like to be behind the quarterback if I can, right? So if we're on the 20 here, then I'm usually back here on this part of the sideline. And I'm hearing the play calls and I'm calling the plays to myself. So it's like, okay, if I was in the huddle right now, what would I do? And then ball snapped and then I'm standing behind. I'm like, all right, we would can this play, or we would audible here, or here's what I would do. And just the best I can mentally, like take the rep while Matthew's out there playing. So that's my process. And I feel like it keeps me in the game mentally.
Remember like some great piece of advice somebody gave you when you first got into the league that still sticks with you?
I mean, there's my agent told me, in his experience for undrafted free agent, there always is a healthy dose of paranoia about your job security. I don't know if that's the greatest advice, or I would advise that to other people, but it is something that I am acutely aware of is, hey, you're always proving yourself. You're always competing. You never know what moves they're going to make in the front office. So how do you provide value? Was kind of my takeaway from that conversation. And that's something that I think about, like if I'm not, I'm not playing a lot right now. So how can I help Matthew? How can I help the offensive coordinator? How can I help the team in any capacity that I can? So there's that healthy dose of paranoia, like, cause I'm still an unproven commodity. I've played a few games. I played well in those games, but it's such a small sample size, the jury's still out. So just for me and my long-term career, that's something that I always think about.
Or anything. What's the one piece of advice you would give to a young quarterback now? Like something that you've learned from all these years of playing?
It's a good question. There's so many things that go into it. Honestly, it'd be simple. It'd be push yourself, right? Work hard, have an open mind, always try and find new ways to get better. And when you get tired and you don't feel like doing something, just have the discipline to keep to your schedule, to keep at it, to keep making the incremental gains every day. And, if you do that, you won't have any regrets and you did the best you could. So that would be it.
What's like the lessons you've learned? What's like the best lesson you learned, like from a mistake or from a loss that's stuck with you forever and it just change your game, knowing that you'll never make that mistake again?
There's so many variables in the sport. It's hard not to make this. I mean, you'd like to think I wouldn't make the same mistake twice trying to force a ball in a window, but when you're making a decision in 2 seconds, sometimes it's easier said than done. I will say this, and I turned the ball over pretty early, a good amount my first couple of years in college, and just an understanding of like winning football is winning the turnover margin, right? The second biggest differentiator in winning and losing games behind points, which is obvious, is turnover margin. And that holds true across NFL and college. So just an understanding of that, that's like, kind of a bigger takeaway is like, hey, be aggressive. There's a fine line, right? And everyone always talks about it, but like, we need to win the turnover margin, and more times than not, we're going to win games. So as a quarterback, be aggressive, but don't be too aggressive. And so I'm always aware of that. And that's something that's at the top of my mind, while still trying to be aggressive.
Or a game, I guess a game week of a backup quarterback. Like, what do you have to go through? Like, that's different than, hey, say the starting team. What else do you have to do that on top of everything else?
I wouldn't go so far to say as the most unique without giving it more thought, but it is one of the more unique positions, just in terms of the requirements, right? You need to know the entire offense like the back of your hand, you know the game plan, but in the absence of reps, that can be tough, right? So the first team offense is running all the plays we're running that week. And it's not like the backups get any reps doing that. So you have to, be behind doing the best you can to take mental reps, doing extra work on the side, just from a mental standpoint to prepare. And then on the field, right, it's very interesting because it's, like in a bullpen for pitchers, right? Like the starters coming out, hey, they call them, hey, warm up, get your body loose, get your nerves firing, yada, yada, yada. For us, it's, hey, you're on the field, let's go, and there's not much of a warm up. So like, the game is fast. And in those situations where you're not getting the full week of prep and you're just called on at a moment's notice, it is one of the more unique roles in sports. I would say. So I just try and get as many extra reps as I can in my head, right? So it's like I can't take these, obviously after practice I'll throw a little extra, work on some routes with the receivers. But one of the things I do that's pretty unique is I'll take these voice memos, right? So I'll record our call sheet, which is pretty extensive, right? All the plays. And then when I'm on my car rides, I'll basically have this voice memo recording. It's about 25-minute car ride, and I'll pause. So I'll basically, it's like hearing the play in the huddle, right? So I call the play, I pause it. It's like hearing Sean tell me the play in the huddle. Then I think through, all right, what play are we running here? Because usually we call multiple plays every single snap, right? So I can or kill the play to the second play. So what would I can or kill this play against? What defensive looks do we anticipate? What's my read? Where am I trying to get the ball? Call it as like I'm in the huddle. So south right clamp, 3 jet, whatever, F choice stucco, can 2 jet, yada, yada, yada. And just basically go through that process. So for me, like what is different, what I do is just steal reps as many ways as I can from a mental standpoint.
What was like winning a Super Bowl? What was that feeling like? I mean,
it was pretty amazing. It was amazing. We had a great team. I have a ton of respect for everyone in our organization, and working with Matthew every day, seeing what he went through in Detroit, all the injuries he's fought through, how tough he's played to win that Super Bowl his first year. Just a ton of respect for him, and was really excited for him. But then as a team and as a group, it's an incredible experience. I had my family down, snuck them on, my best friends and some of my family, I snuck them on the field afterward. We only had like 1 field pass for 2 field passes per player, but I had my best friends say that they were my brothers, and like we were begging the security guards. So they all got on the field. They were out of their mind drunk, but it was just a surreal experience. And then I hugged my brother, and I'll never forget this because we had played football, in the living room when I was 5, and we would bash we had holes in the wall, right? Like this is when we first moved in, and there was still, furniture wasn't completely everywhere. And then to go from that, and we were talking about that, and now I'm in the, I just won a Super Bowl, and we're both on the field. It's pretty cool, just think about all the steps that got me there, all the hard work, and all the people that have helped me along the way. So incredible experience, and one of a kind. There's a brevity to life, right? We only have so many years. Nothing's guaranteed. We don't know what comes after with certainty. And so I remind myself of this, something I write down. It's like, okay, enjoy these moments, right? And enjoy the grind, enjoy the struggle, enjoy your job. But then what matters most, and to me, it's like relationships, right? The people that I care about the most, family, friends, right? All the people that are most important to me. So when I'm in those moments and when I am relaxing, don't be worried about football, don't be worried about whatever, just enjoy that moment. And that's something that I try and live by. And so like in Mexico, I'm on the beach with my girlfriend, and I'm just trying to be, have fun with her, and I'm not worried about the other stuff.